back on the rails.
Yes,
George.
right. Thank you, Alex. Now, the Rushdie film story.
Yeah, well, I don't think they should ban it. I mean, I don't believe that a film can incite people to want to commit murder.
Did you see Absolute Beginners?
The bit we keep running appears to show Rushdie being attacked by 4 flying footstools.
No. Henry, they're the books of the Quran.
Oh, I see.
How about a follow-up piece on the reshuffle?
Yeah, what about a profile of Angela Rumbold and how Thatcher wants her to concentrate on important women's issues?
Or we could do a piece on Moynihan, the new minuscule for energy. Move downwards or sideways.
Or did he get lost down the back of the sofa?
Why didn't Edwina Curry get back in then? I mean, God knows she did enough crawling.
She made a bit of a gaffe last week, called Mrs. Thatcher a demagogue.
Yeah, I think she meant to say demigod.
And she also said that Japanese condoms were too small for British pricks.
She should know she's surrounded by British pricks every day.
Right, now look, is there anything else breaking today?
Yeah. There is yet another briefing to cover from the Labour Party. They'll be droning on about their new financial policies, you know. Fair rates, even fairer income tax, unbelievably nice VAT, that sort of thing.
Listen, now look, I will have a quick post-mortem on yesterday's bulletin. Damien, your item on mad cow disease.
Yeah, look, it was not my fault that the pictures were so dull, George. I mean, every cow in that herd had BSE. But could we get one of them to stagger about in a wobbly kind of way? They just lay there idle, doing bugger all and looking totally sane. Even after we lobbed in the firecrackers.
What do you mean, firecrackers?
Well, you know, to get them up.
No, I don't want to know that. Now, why do we cut this interview with Gummer so short?
Because no viewer can stand the irritating little prat for more than 10 seconds.
Exaggerating is not that bad.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot that we've got to look at, and of course we'll try to take from them any useful points that they have raised.
No, you're right, point taken.
I tried to get him to feed a beef burger to his daughter again.
That poor kid. Let's hope Gummer never becomes Minister for Energy. He'll probably force feed her a chunk of plutonium.
Look, can we get a move on?
Yes, all right, Alex.
Is anyone having any trouble with the computer? I seem to be losing data off my terminal.
Oh, God, that's all we need.
Oh, yeah, it's just wiping stuff.
You can't rely on these computer gadgets. Basically, they're just typewriters with ideas above their station.
Any new system is bound to develop a few little gremlins, Henry.
You don't look like little gremlins, Gus. More like bloody great trolls.
Well, I've never got used to doing everything off these computers.
George, in this fast-changing world of ours, you have to have tomorrow's technology today. Because today is tomorrow's yesterday. And yesterday is a bad place to live.
What is he saying?
Nothing.
You have to do something about these computers, Gus.
Hello, I think it's just taken all the company accounts and hidden them in the limbo file.
That's an interesting question, isn't it? Can something that's cold and robotic have a sense of humour?
What the hell is going on?
No, probably not.
I have just punched up the draft of the autobiography I'm working on, and words just started dropping off the screen.
Bloody hell, it's developed taste now. This is spooky.
It's very irritating. If I don't deliver to the publishers by August, it won't be on the shelves in time for the Christmas rush. Oh, no, really? Yeah.
The nation mourns.
Well, don't worry, Sally. If it's late, I expect they'll just delay Christmas for you.
Isn't there anybody on the staff who understands computers?
It used to be, but you sacked them all, remember?
Gus, just before it went down, did you by any chance happen to put in a floppy?
Well, as it happens, I did, yes. Came to the post. It was called Dynamic Management Made Easy.
I thought so. You've given us a virus.
What?
A computer virus. You see, it's slowly wiping data.
Well, will it just wipe everything then?
Well, it depends on what kind of virus it is. It'll probably just hide lots of info until we pay the blackmailers, and they give us the code word that'll get it all back.
Oh, God, this is going to create chaos. I mean, we need this computer.
Unadulterated bollocks, George. The human brain is all we need. You lot have become dependent on these things. When I was starting out, we never needed computers to record information.
That's right. You used to carve it into the bare rocks with flints and still be finished in time to catch a mammoth for your tea, didn't you?
You may sneer acid drop, but I've never needed computers. I keep everything in my head.
Yes, well, realistically, Henry, we can't keep everything in our heads.
Keep everything in Sally's head. Plenty of storage space. Could probably sublet.
Oh, Very throbbing. What a witty little non-entity you are, Dave.
Please, I'm getting my migraine.
Hold on. I think I've got the ultimatum. Yep, we've got to transfer £50,000 into that number Panamanian bank account. Well, I mean, you've got to hand it to them. Whoever's done this is a genius.
Well, they had you well sussed, didn't they, Gus? I mean, whoever did this knew you were daft enough and vain enough to play that floppy the moment you got it.
Well, that narrows the field down to a few thousand suspects.
Now, it's a very specific virus. It's obviously devised by someone who understands computers and knows our system inside out.
Oh, what, like those computer operators you fired, Gus? Well, that was a big financial saving, wasn't it?
I think we're entering into the area of idle speculation here, Alex. I think perhaps that you and George should interface with me on this in George's office.
If I've lost that first chapter of my biography...
Oh, don't be ridiculous. There's far more important stuff on that computer than your stupid autobiography. Office sweepstake on will be the new Archbishop of Canterbury's on there. Can everyone remember who they had? Who had Bath and Wells? Henry, what did you have?
Cliff Bloody Richard.
Cliff Richard.
Well, there weren't enough bishops to go round, were there?
Damien, you know this area. Is Iraq really going to start a war?
Well, you've got to understand Hussein's position. I mean, first of all, he urgently needs higher oil revenues to pay off his massive debts. Second, the Kuwaiti Islands are of vital strategic importance to him so he can protect the Sharm el-Sheikh waterway. And then, of course, there's the single most important political factor.
What's that?
He's a nutter.
Well, basically, this is an unacceptable scenario. Once we start letting criminals call our plays, then democracy is in a no-win situational zone. We must remember, there's a hidden agenda here.
What is this hidden agenda?
He doesn't know. It's hidden.
The hidden agenda is that these people want to subvert the rule of law.
Oh, so it isn't a hidden agenda. It's visible.
The bottom line is, whoever's responsible for this virus, we have to call their bluff.
It's all very well for you to take a stand, Gus, but you're not the one who's going to have to cope with all the chaos. I am.
We are.
Yes, we are.
We can't give in to criminals, George. I know a strong, iron-willed man like you will understand that.
Well, yes, but...
To even negotiate would be a surrender. I'll notify the police.
I'm just worried about the chaos it's going to cause, the effect it's going to have on staff morale, Gus.
You've a fine team, Coach. I'm sure everyone will respond magnificently.
Trouble, George. The computer has started printing up people's salaries, and Henry and Sally have just clocked how much the other one earns.
I want to die.
George, I demand an explanation.
So do I.
The differential between our salaries is extraordinary.
I agree. Little Miss Mediocrity here earns nearly as much as I do.
Rubbish. The gap's huge and in the wrong direction. After all, it's not Henry who's attracting demographic groups A, B, and C, 1 and 2, is it?
For God's sake, both of you, just stop badgering George, will you?
Thanks, Alex.
You know perfectly well it's Gus who controls the purse strings. It's the organ grind you want to talk to, not the monkey.
Thanks, Alex.
Good point. Now, guys, about this money.
Now, hold on, Henry. This is far too important to do anything hasty. Let's not burn our boats before the bridge is built.
Point is, as the ratings puller,
Look, I hate to interrupt this ego-thon, but we do have a news broadcast to get out.
I agree. Now, we can discuss this later.
Very well, but you haven't heard the last of this.
Quite. Expect a call from my agent.
Can't we just pay these blackmailers and get rid of the virus, Gus? I mean, you can see the trouble it's causing already. I mean, God knows what's in store.
We have to be firm, George. In a situation like this, we must emulate the Prime Minister.
What, cock it up and then blame someone else?
We must never give in to terrorists. That's what she says. It's also what Sir Royston says. And as our major shareholder, I think his views should be plugged into our matrix, don't you?
I spot a hidden agenda.
Who wants to look good to Sir Royston?
I just want us to do what is right. Sometimes you have to stand by a principle, no matter what the cost.
Sometimes you have to stand by a principle? That's never Gus. I reckon alien beings have taken possession of his body.
Bloody computer virus. But you know what's going to happen now all the salaries are out in the open, don't you? Everyone's going to go around being bitter, small-minded, and envious. It's pathetic.
He's right, of course.
Yes, I suppose so.
Mind you, it's easy for him to say. You should see the whack that bastard's up.
I'm not in a mood to be muzzled, George.
It's all right. What I'm saying is, with all these backbench Tories on the rampage about bias, let's just be careful, shall
I
we?
know how they'd like the news to sound. Bong, nation begs Mrs. Thatcher, please let us pay more poll tax. Bong, Mrs. Thatcher visits disaster scene and raises dead. Bong, England wins test match, Kenneth Baker takes 8 for 41.
What I find laughable about all these Tories is they imagine news editors are radical subversives who are a threat to society.
You're right. It's laughable.
Now, what are we going to do about this Scargill story? Has anybody got anything ready just in case he goes and resigns?
Well, I don't think he'll have to resign now, George, not unless he does something stupid. Get a resignation piece ready.
Now, nobody's had an interview with Ridley since he went. Any joy on that front?
Well, I'll try him again, George, but I just keep getting his answer phone.
It's a sad day, isn't it, when insulting Germans it's considered a resigning offence.
Yeah, it's the answer phone again.
Guten Tag, Mr. Ridley.